It's not too late. It's not over. It's not finished. But you can start again.
God is saying no. If you will repent,
We are not Pentecostal because of our banner. We are not Pentecostal by denomination, but we are Pentecostal by experience.
I believe that we are convinced that God is more than enough. But I think that we doubt that he is enough. Because all that stuff that somebody else needs that's so big, and all these things over here that's so, I believe God can do that. But what about my situation? What about the reality? Do you know what the truth is? His miraculous power is sufficient when he produces one meal, just like when he feeds 5,000. I know God can feed 5,000. But what about that little widow that didn't have anything to eat? Is that just as miraculous? When the prophet was sent to her house and the prophet said, I need something to eat. And she said, all I got's a little bit of meal and a little bit of oil. It's all I've got. And he said, you make me a cake. And that's where the faith really comes in. And not a crowd of people. There ain't 5,000 people out there. It's not a big mass media event. It's just one little widow woman, and God's asking for everything. Now here's the test. Do you believe God is enough? And in faith, she went and made the cake for the prophet and used her last bit of oil and used her last bit of meal. But you know what? The next time she came to that cruse of oil and that bit of meal, it was her last bit of oil and her last bit of meal again. And then it was time for another meal, and she was hungry, and she went back, and there was another last bit of oil and last bit of meal. What are you saying, preacher? I know that you believe for all these wonderful, huge things, but do you believe when you're down to the very bottom and there is nowhere else to go, that God is able to do a miracle for one little widow woman with one little cake? I'm telling you, enough is enough. He's enough.